This is the Spartan Body and Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. Today, we are looking at the excuse I often hear with clients, with people interested in changing their body and their mind. I hear this excuse often. It is this: I don't have time. I don't have time. Why do we say that? What do we really mean when we're saying, I don't have time? 6 things. Number 1, when I say I don't have time, what I really mean is I don't have a compelling vision. I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't know what goal I'm trying to achieve. I don't have clarity on where I'm going. I don't have time because, number 1, I don't have a compelling vision. How do you create a compelling vision? Well, you look ahead and you say, where am I going and why do I want to get there? What do I think that thing, that accomplishment, that achievement is going to bring? We need a compelling vision of where we're going. You will give your time. And you'll give more than time. You'll give your energy, your finances, your skills, your abilities, your everything to things that call you, that motivate you. So you need a compelling vision. Number 2, when I hear I don't have time, that often means I don't have a clear strategy. I don't know how. I don't know how to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. So you need a clear strategy. First, you need a vision. You need to know where you're going. And a strategy is accomplished by then reverse engineering that vision and going, what are the steps it's going to take to bring that vision into reality? I need a strategy. I need a game plan, right? Now, that game plan has to be adjustable. It can't be written in stone because things change and environments move, and there are a variety of factors, right? It's NFL season. If a coach has a game plan and goes into a game and doesn't have the flexibility to change that game plan, he's going to lose because the other team will adjust and he will be unable to adjust. And you see this all the time, right? If you're a Seahawks fan, you see this with Pete Carroll often. He does not adjust. And now it'll be interesting without a Russell Wilson, not to go on a sports tangent, but Russell Wilson, right, fourth quarter could just pull things out of his hat and magically, right, save the day. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And so Pete Carroll has to become a coach who adjusts, who does not stick to his one-way game plan. The same as with us. We have to be able to strategize. If we don't have a strategy, if we don't know what we're going to do, then we have no clear direction, no clear impetus to guide our day. So we need a strategy. We need to know what we're up to. And that really ties in with number 3, which is structure. A strategy, right, I would say, like, if you look up at a building, if you're going to build a building, you need you need the vision, right? You need to know what it's going to look like. You need the strategy. Okay, we're going to do this first, this second. Once we do that, then we're going to do this. And then you need the real bones. You need the structure. So when I'm working with a client, I ask them, what's the vision? The Spartan program is 90 days of intensity. It's 90 days of us dialing in nutrition, activity, sleep. So all the 3 major components of our physical: our nutrition, our fuel, our activity, our expenditure, and our sleep, our recovery. But then it's also mindset. We're working on the mind. We're working on limiting beliefs and distractions and all the things we talked about in a previous podcast with procrastination. We're working through, right? We're creating a strategy in those areas. We need a strategy for nutrition. We need a strategy for activity. We need a strategy for recovery. We need a strategy to work on what are the stresses in life? What are the things that are taking us off our game plan when it comes to our mentality? So we have a strategy, but then we have a structure. Then we get into the nitty-gritty and say, okay, our structure is this. We're going to take the first 2 weeks and we're going to up our calories and we're going to readjust metabolism. And then the next 2 weeks, we're going to cut down by 200 calories. We're going to do this workout. We're going to see how this responds. And then we're going to write. So we have a structure. So the strategy is the 15 to 20,000 foot view of where we're going. The structure is the weeds. That's the ground level. This is what we're doing today. This is what we're doing this week. You need a compelling vision. You need a strategy as to how to get there. You need a structure. You need the actually nitty-gritty to know exactly what is happening. So you have tight accountability. Number 4, then, once you have a vision, a strategy, and a structure, then you need discipline. You need to say, how do you create discipline? I get that question. That's probably another podcast. How do you create discipline? I think discipline is just created through willpower. It's just, and what is willpower? Willpower is just a desire to do that above other things. When I had my physical transformation, I was 100 pounds overweight, 2018, and I was overweight for years before that, but I had no real compelling reason to get fit. I knew I should get fit. I knew I needed to be fit, but I had other distractions. I had other priorities. I had other things that I told myself. And so it just kept getting worse and worse and worse until finally, again, I took a trip to Honduras. I came back, and I don't know if I got if I drank something in the water or what, but like I just got violently ill and could not eat anything without incredible pain. And this lasted for weeks. Going to doctors and trying to figure blood work, trying to figure out what's going on. And finally, it was just a look in the mirror and said, okay, this can't continue. Like, I can't live like this. I've got to make a change. And so my change wasn't really like, I'm just overweight and it was a health crisis. I couldn't eat anything without pain. So I changed my diet out of necessity. And all of a sudden, I started to feel better. And I thought, man, there's some good motivation now. I kind of have had an awakening to what my health, I've been so unhealthy that it led probably to me having an extreme reaction to something that probably shouldn't have been as extreme. And so now, how do I continue to go? I'm already eating in a different way. How do I just continue that? How do I be more intentional? And so discipline just happens, I think, when you prioritize, when you create the willpower to say no to things that you know, you're just more aware. You're living more aware. I talked to a client the other day, and they said, we were talking about just eating habits and snacks. Snacks just seem to derail everybody because you don't really think about them. And he was talking about how he was in his office and someone offered him donuts. And he was like, no, again, he's focused. He's aware. No. I'm gonna say no to the donuts. Say no to the sugar demons. So he goes back to his desk and he's working, and all of a sudden his coffee's empty. So he goes to the break room, he fills up a coffee, and he doesn't even realize it. He grabs a donut, and by the time he's back to the desk and sits down, awareness dawns, and he goes, I just ate a donut. I told the person who brought the donuts I wasn't going to have one. I didn't want one. And mindlessly, I went to fill up my coffee, and mindlessly, I grabbed a donut, and mindlessly, I inhaled the donut. And now, right, I just shot 400 calories of sugary demonness. Because we're not aware. We're not focused. We're not intentional. We're just going through the motions. Discipline comes from willpower and an awareness and a focus on our priorities. And once we have discipline, so when I hear, I don't have time, you don't have a compelling vision, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a structure. Those are the 3 most important things you need to put into place. But then you need 3 more things. Then you need to double down on the triple D. And the triple D is this. It's discipline. I don't have the time. No, you don't have the discipline. Number 2, you don't have the devotion. Devotion. Like, I need to be devoted to this thing. This thing is important. It's just not enough to have discipline. Devotion is where the motivation comes. I'm devoted to this. Why am I devoted to it? Well, there's the key. You want the key to motivation? You want the key to being devoted to something? Figure out the why. Why is it important? Why? Let the why drive you. You don't need quotes. You don't need someone yelling. You don't need someone hyping you up. Oh, those all things are nice. But I'm telling you, if you rely on that to accomplish a big goal, you'll encounter the excuse, I just don't have time, because you don't have the devotion within you. You don't have the motivation within you. You need a compelling vision, a strategy, and a structure, but then you need the triple D. You need the discipline. You need the devotion. And number 3, and probably most often not talked about, you need to be daring. What do I mean by that? What I mean is when push comes to shove, because every great goal, every great achievement, every great accomplishment will face adversity. You will encounter in your journey suffering and hardship, and you will be tempted by obstacles and things in your way to turn away. And you'll say, what? Oh, I don't have time. Other things came up. I don't have time. This happened. I just don't have time. You need to be daring. What do I mean by that? You need to take risks. You need to say, no, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I still have the vision. My strategy right now isn't working. My structure isn't working. This is a major curveball. I got to be daring. I got to think outside the box. I got to figure out a way to get after it because my vision hasn't changed. My devotion hasn't changed. I'm not going to let excuses get in the way. I'm not going to say, well, because of this now, I just didn't have the time. No, you have the time. You got to get daring. So, instead of looking in the mirror and telling yourself the dumb excuse of I don't have time, instead, take the time to do the first 3, create a compelling vision. Out of that vision, create a strategy, a game plan. And number 3, create a structure. Create the details to ensure the game plan leads you to the vision. And then discover the discipline, the willpower. Where does that come from? The devotion, the motivation, the whys. And then be ready to become daring. When Goliath rears up and faces you, is all goals and accomplishments will encounter. When the challenger faces you, don't back down and become a pansy. Stand up and become a victor. Become a champion. Become daring. Stare that obstacle in the face and say, I'll figure it out. You have the time. You just don't have a vision, a strategy, a structure. You have the time. You just don't have the discipline, the devotion, or the daring within you. Go make time. If you need help, hit us up, SethWinterhalter.com. Join the Facebook group, Spartan Body Mind. Join others. Don't do it alone. Join others. Ask for help. We're here. Let's get after it.